Okay, I'm Marky Billson talking now to Randy Sanders, the new head football coach of the East Tennessee State Buccaneers, and I want to be blunt. This has not been exactly how I think you would ideally like to start your career as a head coach. So I want to ask you, how do you have a quality relationship right now with one of the better defensive players on your team, Tyree Robinson?
Well, Mark, there's a number of things that have gone really, really well since I've been head coach. There's been one thing that hasn't gone as well as I'd like, and obviously the university did their part, and I've issued my statement on that. We've kind of gone forward from it. Tyree is a good football player, and I want him on the football team, and right now he's on the football team, and so I expect him to go out there and be a part of the team and play well, and the relationship is what it is at this point, but I'm looking forward to what we can do in the fall.
Well, let's talk a little about, you have a new offensive coordinator. Again, this is not exactly, but Mike Rader, someone familiar with local football fans. But why did it seem so long for Rader to get the nod after Marcus Satterfield left for Baylor? It seemed to take about a month. Were you considering anyone else to be the offensive coordinator?
Well, Mark, Mike was always at the top of the list, I think. But one thing I've learned through my years of coaching and just years of living is I'm going to think things through pretty well, and I'm going to make sure I know what I want to do when I do it. Obviously, when I had the opportunity to hire Marcus to start with, I thought it was he was way too good of a football coach to pass up at that time. When I hired him, Mike was on the radar to be the coordinator at that time, and wanted to make sure and see what else might pop up or what might be available and decide. And there were a lot of really, really good candidates and some very qualified guys, but I didn't think anybody was more qualified or deserved the job more or could do a better job than what Mike brought to the table.
All right. Let's go into what's going to happen this upcoming season. I got my Street and Smiths. They picked ETSU 8th out of 9 teams in the conference, despite 15 returning starters. When you see something like that, what goes through your head?
Well, honestly, I haven't seen it because I haven't looked at those things. But at the same time, when you look at 4 wins last year, that's not to be unexpected. Sometimes the great news is you have returning starters. Sometimes the bad news is you got the same guys returning. So there can be a positive and a negative to that. Now, I'm excited about the guys we have returning. I think we got a lot of good football players. We got a number of guys that have played a lot of football. It's amazing how experience will make you better. We got to continue building on what we have. We got to continue bringing talent in. Experience is great, but talent will overcome experience. So we got to keep bringing talented guys in and keep putting the best product on the field that we can.
I was talking to Steve Forbes about scheduling. You've got a tough schedule. ETSU, if you look, playing Tennessee for the first time this year, but in future schedules, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Appalachian State. Question, though, that I want to ask is when you play games like that, does that help with your recruiting? Is it different in football? Hey, come to an ETSU and you'll have a chance to play against the best. Does that help you out?
Well, ask me again in a year or two, and I can probably answer that a little better. I can't see how it won't help us. When you get the opportunity to go down and play in front of 95,000 or 98,000 people, or go to Georgia and you play in front of 90,000, or just the atmospheres that that's going to be there when we go play some of those games on the road is a great experience, and it's a great opportunity for our team. Obviously, there are tremendous challenges, but there are also great opportunities. And whenever you put the opportunities out there, I see where it can be nothing but a positive for our program and for our young men.
Okay, now the big story right now, Austin versus Logan, who's going to be the starting quarterback. Is there a front runner right now?
I don't know that there's a front runner. I think both of them had very good springs. Both of them, I think, made a lot of improvements. They both come in. They're learning a new offense, learning a new system, learning a new way of hearing things and hearing things explained. So that we still got a lot of work to do with them. I was really pleased with what I saw from each of them this spring. I don't know that either of them are at this moment ready to go play at the level I expect them to, but I think if they keep the same attitude they had and the same work ethic, that we can get there by the first game. Who ends up being a starter, I don't know. But I love the way each of them have embraced the competition.
Okay.
And they both had a great attitude. They both, we'd come back from practice and we would have a group of 12, 15 guys up there watching practice tape, and they were always sitting there at the table amongst the group. They were both together, and they both competed hard. They both want to be the starting quarterback, but they both were helping each other, and they both had a team-first attitude. And when you have a position at quarterback where you got two guys that accept that role, it makes it hard for anybody else on the team not to.
I know you weren't here the first 3 years, but, when ETSU brought back football, I think fans were just happy to have the team. Who cares if they went 2-9? Then it was looking forward to the new stadium. Oh, we've wanted this forever. Right. Now all those things are gone. Do you feel more pressure now to win?
Well, obviously we expect to win. That's what we want to do. At the same time, I know we've been here 3 years. We've been playing ball for 3 years, and so we're still a new program. We're trying to get established. 3, 4, 5 years ago, they were trying to find players to come fill out a roster. Now we're in a position where we can be much more selective with that. And once we have an opportunity to do that for, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I think the pressure may build at that point. Right now, I think we got a lot of guys that's eager. We got a lot of guys that want to be good. We got a lot of guys that are ready to win, and I see no reason why we can't win. But it should get easier as we keep building recruiting classes on top of recruiting classes.
A new coach is going to come with changes. What change have you made that you're the proudest of?
Marty, that's a great question. I don't really know. I do know that we have tried to increase the tempo at practice. We've tried to increase the accountability throughout the program, whether it's for what you do on each play in practice, what you do in each rep, what you do going to class, what you do in the weight room, what you do in the meeting rooms. We've tried to raise that level of accountability across the board. And for the most part, our guys have accepted it, embraced it, and hopefully we'll see the benefits of it in the fall when we get out there. But I love the attitude. I love the way our guys have gone about their business. And I'm not saying they didn't before, because I wasn't here before. I don't know. But I like the effort and the attitude we get each day at practice.
Well, so you like the attitude, you've increased the tempo. Let me ask, when you go to the FCS level from the FBS, I know that you're the man in charge now, you've sought that, but is there any less pressure? Because, it is a 63 scholarship, let's say 10,000 fans a game level instead of, say, 100,000, or Kentucky 60,000 fans a game with 85 scholarships. Is there any less pressure, you think, at the FCS level?
No, I don't think so, because you still have 11 players out there at a time. You still have a field that's 100 yards long with 2 10-yard end zones, so the field doesn't change. The game doesn't change. There may be a few less people in the stands, and, you may be on, a delayed broadcast instead of on ESPN or something like that. You may not have the nation watching, but that doesn't change the expectations we have as individuals and what we want to get accomplished. And we want to win games. We want to compete for championships, and we expect to do it as quickly as possible.
All right, Randy Sanders, the new football coach at ETSU. Hey, you know what? I think that not having as much pressure, you just gave me a compliment, because there's a lot more media, but that means that, I'm the guy giving you the criticism. Anyway, Randy Sanders, Tri-City Sports Now.